Hey, everyone, if we could stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you could please take notice to the exits behind you on your left and right. There's an exit over here on our right. Please turn all electronic devices to vibrate. Kathy, can we get a roll call?
Yes. Councilman Cypress?
Here.
Councilman Larka?
Here.
Councilwoman Lewis?
Here.
Councilman Mazzata?
Here.
Supervisor Durante?
Here. Thank you. So tonight, we're going to start off with a proclamation for someone who has been very influential in the town of Southeast, who's passed away. His name was John Dunford. He passed away August 30th, 2025. He made his mark on our community and a legacy of accomplishment which will benefit many for future generations. Just wanted to talk a little bit about John. For those of you who did know him, I have not heard really a bad word about John. So just a little bit here. John was born on May 2nd, 1945 in Danbury. He was a lifelong resident of Brewster and a 1962 graduate of Brewster High School, where he served as the president of his graduating class. He went on to attend Merrimack College, North Andover, Massachusetts, where he earned his bachelor's degree in 1966, and then married his high school sweetheart, Phyllis Monona, on January 23rd, 1966, and they were happily married for 59 years. I am 2 years younger than that, so that is unbelievable. John was a successful local businessman, having owned and operated a driving school, teaching at the Harvey School in Katona, New York, starting the Brewster Village Florist with Phyllis, which operated from the 1970s through 1996, and having a long career with New York State Electric and Gas as its regional customer service manager. And despite having a busy social calendar and full professional career, found the time to immerse himself in public service and civic affairs. He was elected mayor of the Village of Brewster, serving in that capacity from 1977 to 1979. He served multiple terms on the town board of the town of Southeast, and from 2003 through 2007 served as a town supervisor here in Southeast. A skilled leader and politician, he also served as commissioner of the Putnam County Board of Elections, and always marveled in the history of this great community, and which is kind of nice because we have our historian here tonight, and is credited with bringing the Big Apple Circus to Southeast as a part of the town's bicentennial celebration, aimed at illustrating the important role our town played in the development of the American circus. He also authored the town's first historic book, ensuring that the story of our community would be preserved and enjoyed for generations to come. At the end of the meeting, we're going to have a moment of silence for John, and we will then close the meeting. We'd like to extend the heartfelt condolences of the entire Southeast community to his wife Phyllis, their sons Mark, Jonathan, and Adam, and their families on the passing of John. So with that, the town clerk shall enter a copy of the proclamation in the minutes of this meeting and transmit a copy hereforth to Phyllis. We have a proclamation here for her. We'll make sure it gets to her. Maybe Will and I will take a ride over there soon. She's in Florida, apparently. So, yes. Okay, so I would like to make a motion to open a public hearing to amend the local law, Chapter 108-138, regulations of rentals for senior housing.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So, the senior housing regulations were basically verbiage changes. We had to go through there and change some stuff, but the actual rental, short-term rentals, we did change a lot of things. So if someone here from the public would like to come on up and talk to us about it, this is your moment.
Just for the board, there was a few little, not typos, just quick changes that I found. I haven't communicated them yet, but nothing impactful or worth having to prolong this. So I'll send those before the final version goes out.
Okay.
Anyone else from the board? Okay, I guess I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So our second public hearing tonight is for the subdivision of 67 Main Street. Anyone from the public that would like to come up and speak?
And just for the record, we weren't required to have a public hearing for this. This is, we're just trying to be overly transparent about this. We've made a presentation last meeting here. We made a presentation at the village board meeting. We've notified the tenants of the building, but we just wanted to give an opportunity if anyone had any questions or comments about what we're trying to accomplish, they could do it now. As we move forward, if there is an opportunity to sell the building, I think there would be public hearings at that point. So this is really just a courtesy. And then a quick update for the board before anyone from the public speaks. This survey, I understand, should be done for us to submit input to. So they've done the survey, and we need to then tell them where the lines should be. And I think that'll be ready next week. So maybe at the next meeting, we can go over that.
That's good.
Sounds good.
So does anyone like to come up? No? Okay, actually, so then I'll make a motion to close the public hearing with a 5-day write-in period.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we can jump right into our work session. We have special guests here today. We are looking at security issues and advancements. So we brought down CB20. Chris P. and Tom Marcotte, if you guys could come on up. They're going to give us a little presentation on what we're looking to try to do. We want to make sure we are heading into, what century or decade? Correctly? So please tell us who you are, where you are. and-
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Chris Pietrantonio, or as Nick pointed out, Chris P., because it's easier for
Yes.
everybody to say my last name. I'm with CB20. CB20 is the town's managed IT services provider, so we provide support for laptops, desktops, printers, your servers, your networking, et cetera, across all of your locations. Myself, I am the town's virtual CIO. I'm assigned to the town from CB20. I'm an account manager for all intents and purposes, but I'm also to ensure that our contractual obligations are being met, that the town is satisfied with the services that are being provided by CB20, and then also to partner with the town on making improvements and to help the town in their endeavors and plans to grow and expand. So today's presentation, actually, you know what, here, I'll do your thing too, my bad.
Hi, Tom Marcotte, also with CB20, Director of Cloud Services. So I'm here to go over some of the technical aspects of what Chris is going to present. I've been with the organization for 33 years, so I have a lot of experience helping towns, counties, businesses implement these technologies.
And Chris forgot to mention, he is also assigned to keep me out of trouble on the electronic side of our,
Yeah, we keep a close eye on
God
Nick.
bless you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have time for anything else.
It's been a challenge, but we welcome the opportunity. So, and to Tom's point, while he's been at CB20 for 33 years, I've been with the company for 3.5 years, but don't let that concern you because I've been an IT professional for 30 years. So just across a few other organizations, not CB20. So tonight, as part of my services to CB20, I go through and evaluate the various technologies that are in place look for recommendations to improve things, not only just from an infrastructure perspective, security, and whatnot, PCs, life cycle replacement, all of those. So what I have to present, and I believe everybody has a copy of the presentation, right? So tonight's presentation is to discuss security improvements, okay? And if you go to the next page on here, what I've done is just kind of generated a quick little infographic to outline what we are looking to recommend to the town. In this case, we want to, I guess to Nick's fun point here, bring the town a little bit further into the 21st century to create a more resilient and secure town through the introduction of Microsoft 365 services. In particular, right in the center of it is the identity and centralized device management. So what that means, and Tom's going to get into more of the specifics, is to create a level of flexibility and policy control across all of the devices, which will include compliance, auditing, general best practices around making sure that people aren't doing things with their computers that they're not supposed to be doing, and overall stabilizing the environment as well. And if you were to go counterclock or clockwise in this case, we're looking at document management solutions, specifically around the SharePoint platform, device encryption, email encryption, data loss prevention, advanced antivirus, endpoint detection and response technologies, MFA, multi-factor authentication, and email security. Okay, so it's a very comprehensive program that, once done, will allow devices to receive and maintain their security posture no matter where they are. If they are on an internet connection at a Starbucks, they will still be secure. If they are here in the town, they will be secure. That's the extent of what we're trying to bring. On top of that, it allows CB20 the ability to continue to monitor, manage, and maintain those machines in a secure fashion and keep it compliant. There's the benefits to implementing this technology is tremendous for the town, given where it is right now. And as I joke with Nick and with other members of the town, there are plenty of opportunities to improve the technology within the town and to do so in a cost-effective way, and something that will be future-proof and will grow with the town very easily. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions so far?
I do, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Chris, how does device management work when at least 4 of us don't have a town computer up here? So, so obviously I'm sharing that with personal stuff, day job stuff.
Yep.
Like, I can't have conflicting security profiles,
Correct.
et cetera. So how would that work for us?
So at that point, it comes down to how are you interacting with town resources. So if you're interacting with the document management system, if you're interacting with the town's email, there'll be that added layer of security. Well, you'll have multi-factor authentication, conditional access. It will require you to authenticate regularly in order to be able to access any of the town's resources. Now, also within the document management system, you can set parameters around what content can be downloaded onto non-town devices. So there is a wide range of policies that are available that can be enabled to protect digital assets and information within the town.
Sounds like there could be a conflict with, let's say, Outlook that, we're using for multiple, I at least am using for multiple things, town
Sure.
and other stuff, so.
But when you're signing into Outlook on other platforms or for other purposes, are you being challenged with multi-factor authentication at those times?
No.
No. That is a layer of security that should be enabled on email at all times, right? To prevent situations where somebody is compromising your account and trying to sign in as you. If they manage to get your username and password, the MFA challenge would prevent them from doing any further interaction with your email, even phishing other members of the board or the community with an email that would appear to be coming from you.
Yeah, and I don't want to tie us up for our stuff, but, in a corporate environment, device management usually involves controlling what we can and can't load on a laptop. So again, these are our personal laptops.
Of course. Of course, device management on a personal device would be excluded,
Okay.
right? It's the other services, specifically around the document management and the email access. Those are the services that are going to be the most protected when using a BYOD or bring your own device type of environment. For the endpoints that are going to be within the town, they will be maximized and hardened to prevent any data from being extricated or lost. If the device itself was to somehow make its way out outside of the hands of the owner of that device, it would be encrypted. There would be no way to pull that data off of it.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
We
Yes.
can also limit the non-town devices to web-based access only, so you'll have all those securities, but nothing will be down on your, come down on your laptop.
Okay.
Are there currently any restrictions on town computers, like, you know, restrictions on certain websites or anything more to what we have in the corporate world, where, you know, you try and go on this website, but there's,
Yeah.
that's a
Do they-
blocked site? I was curious.
It's limited right now because content filtering is typically enabled at the firewall level, right? So on the network itself. When you're in the building, that's when you have content filtering. Here within the town, it's very basic,
Okay,
okay?
so nothing really.
And that is also something that is on the roadmap for consideration, is to further improve the physical infrastructure, the network infrastructure, wireless, et cetera, at another point. But when looking at the two opportunities for this coming fiscal year, the actual endpoint security, protecting the digital content of the town, was the higher priority.
Chris or Nick?
Yeah, just a
Oh,
little
sorry.
bit to that. So within the product suite that we've recommended, there's some rudimentary web access management. So we can certainly get that implemented when we deploy this.
For town employees that have a laptop rather than a desktop, and I don't know how many that is, like, would you consider like a VPN so that you could run it through the content filtering, or have you not discussed that?
So what Chris was referring to would be the firewall, and yes, that would be the method for doing it. The capability we have in the software would be on an individual PC basis. So regardless of where the PC is, if they're accessing the internet, and this is the town-owned devices, that content management would come into play.
Okay.
And Chris and I had spoke, there really wouldn't be many people taking a laptop out of the building. You know.
Yeah, I don't know the ratio here, actually.
Yeah, you know, it might be Kathy, myself.
I do check for
You know.
death certificates.
So it's not like any clerk would be able to take a laptop out of here.
Right.
But we are considering every option so that things don't close. You know.
Well, you can
It
be
sounds like they
vulnerable
could accomplish what they
here.
want without a VPN.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
that's
Yeah, a
the point.
VPN comes into play most often when you're dealing with a more centralized environment. You know, somebody is logging into a server where you have all of your files. You want to protect that route, that tunnel from the device from home into the network. But in this case, this is a decentralized environment, a cloud environment. And all of the securities are placed on each individual endpoint and on each individual system that they're accessing.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I haven't had a chance to really read this thoroughly, but this may be a silly question, but for the licensing increase for Microsoft 365, it says 365 G3 annual licensing, 29 users at $432 per user, and it says this replaces existing spend of 365 G3 at 29 users. So they both say G3, I don't know if that's a typo, but what's the difference between the licenses?
So the town's currently running a product called Office 365 G3.
Okay,
The G signifies government, 3 is the enterprise level of the software. What we're proposing is Microsoft 365 G3. Microsoft 365 is just a larger bundle of packages, primarily adding the security components.
okay, so it's more security, but not more like programs that we probably don't need.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
understood.
actually very similar software to the Office 365 G3 with the security added on top of it.
Understood. Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, but Eric and I were on the same page. I was gonna ask about a VPN, so I'm good.
And it's on the slide that was just referenced, had the cost breakdown, and then on the following slide after that also outlined additional benefits of implementing this suite of tools to the town. You know, the key categories: security enhancements, operational and compliance benefits, and the centralized document management.
Can you speak to that a little bit more?
Which part?
The SharePoint and the rollout there, because I read some about you guys assisting town end users to get their documents migrated over, and that's incorporated in the proposal, right?
Correct.
So can you speak a little bit about that? Because I think it's a great benefit for all. We've been using it in some fashion, I think, from my perspective as a town board member, it's been very helpful. So I can imagine bringing this to the day-to-day employees within the town. I think it'll be a great
Absolutely.
addition as well.
Yeah, so what the town has now is very common. Individual users have, files are not all centrally located. So users have files. There's a file server that has some centralized files on it. So the exercise we're going to go through is to take everything and centralize it onto SharePoint. So that enables a few things. One is better security. Once you have everything in one place, it's easier to maintain, manage, and secure. By moving from files that are not in any kind of document management ecosystem to SharePoint, you now pick up things like collaboration. So multiple people can work on a file at the same time. Everybody knows the other users are in there. There's little icons that show the other user working, where they are in the document. Seems like a small thing, but once you start doing it and working with your colleagues on documents like this, it produces tremendous efficiency.
Tom, could we do that with records also? Like records we would need to look at from another department possibly?
Yeah, so if it's not a Microsoft Office document, you'll have the Teams capability. And within Teams, you can bring up a document and again, share that with others, collaborate on it that way. So there's a couple different methods. And by having everything in a central repository, everybody knows where the files are. So, you don't spend the first 15 minutes looking for a file, is it on this laptop, is it on the server? So it helps with efficiency in that way. Yeah, and if you kind of know what was in the file, but you don't know the file name or the directory it was in, you can do a search, and it will bring up files with certain keywords in it. So again, finding files. There's a multitude of benefits. Another one is versioning. So I worked on this file yesterday, and I did something I shouldn't have. I wish I could go back to the file I was working on last week because that was perfect. Now you can do that very easily. So all these benefits when you have the file shared up in the cloud. The other thing is as Microsoft enhances their products, they're focused on customers using the cloud elements. So new capabilities will come out and they'll enhance things like SharePoint or any of the cloud technologies that we're talking about here, whereas they're not really spending a lot of time on non-cloud, enhancing non-cloud environments.
Will you be providing training to the end users?
Yeah, so
Not simply migrating and then they need to know how to do it moving forward?
Yeah, in a couple ways. So the process itself is sort of meant to mentor the users as we go through the process. So they're involved in how we're going to set up the SharePoint itself, the directory structure within. We will spend time with everyone on, okay, here's your element, town clerk. You've got this file structure. Here's how you're going to move your files into that. We can help the users at that point. We also have time built into the project, just what we would call day one support, where the users are now starting to move their files, we'll be there to support them. The other thing is just on an ongoing basis, since we manage the environment, our help desk is there on an ongoing basis to help the users. And, you know, they're very skilled at helping users adapt. It is, you know, it's a bit of a change. It's not huge, but, you know, there'll be a bit of a learning curve. But once they get into it, they'll see that it's just a lot easier to work in.
And access can be controlled. For example, you know, Kathy has
Absolutely,
files,
100%.
and we don't want somebody from another department to be able to
Yeah, a
have
couple ways
access.
that's accomplished. So I mentioned SharePoint. So you can have multiple SharePoints within an environment. So we can use those to create some separation. The other thing is, you know, Chris kind of touched on it earlier when he went through the infographic. There's, in the center of that was identity. So where everything starts within Microsoft 365 is who is the user, and from there they have rights to, you know, that are governed by the administrator, who can get into what files. So, you know, only town clerk folks can get into the town clerk files, or if there's somebody outside of the town clerk's office that should have access, we can grant that on a, you know, one-off basis.
Kathy, I can't believe I can't remember the repository you're using for scanning, but
Oh.
would that go to?
Laserfiche?
Laserfiche.
It
Would
is,
that
it is
move
not.
over,
So,
or
so
that stay
here's the
separate?
deal with our Laserfiche. Our Laserfiche is piggybacked off the county.
County, right.
So we don't have the capabilities that like an individual town would have, where basically we can look, we can print, we can't really do much else.
But should we switch to using SharePoint for your repository? And you guys could take that offline. But,
Yeah,
you know, we start a
Laserfiche.
project
So,
to
yeah.
scan documents to a
Yep.
place,
Yep.
so.
I believe it's a proprietary format within Laserfiche.
It is, yeah.
That we wouldn't be able to.
And it
Oh, yeah,
has its
I
own
guess.
indexing capabilities
Mm-hmm.
and everything, so to try to move that into SharePoint for the town could potentially break that indexing
Right.
and your ability to find those records.
Yeah, it just, I wonder if, and I'm not
Yep.
trying to break your stuff, but,
Nope.
you know, since we're only a year into it, maybe it's time to bite the bullet rather than keep using something we don't want. But just throwing it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm not thrilled with Laserfiche as far as what's in there now. It's not, I went to a class and I'm like, I can't do any of these things. So,
Because it's not ours.
it's not ours, correct.
I think you're speaking to future records. That's,
And,
Laserfiche is everything we've had in the past and collected that the county has assisted us in recording.
But we've
Right.
only, we're not
The-
even
the only
a
thing that
year
we have-
into it, is what I'm saying. So like, if it's not the right solution, before we just keep scanning to something we don't like.
I understand what you're saying.
Let's, you know.
the,
maybe
But we're
we'll-
the only thing that we have in there are, until 2018, is marriage, birth, and death records. That's it.
Kathy, is it, we don't have full access to the software, like the software's
Correct.
capabilities that we just,
Correct.
the county hasn't unlocked to us?
They, from what I understand, aren't necessarily going to give us that access.
So how-
Because it allows us then to be able to touch other things. There's other towns that are in it. So they can't just say, well, you can have access, but you can only have access to this. Once you start giving editing access, it doesn't work that way. That's how I understood it anyway.
Wonder if there's a solution, but that's not for you guys to worry about.
Yeah, it's important to note too that the town, quote unquote, owns its own Microsoft 365 tenant. So there's no risk of cross contamination or pollination with other towns or other businesses or something like that within your tenant. All right, whereas as Kathy described it with Laserfiche, it sounds like it's a multi-tenant system across the other townships. So I can understand why they might not want to grant more administrative rights and that risk of being able to see a neighbor's records and information. But you would have greater control. If that content was brought into SharePoint, you would have greater control over that.
Do they have to be a specific file type? Because these are TIFF files.
Any file type can be brought in.
Okay.
It's just a matter of tagging it.
Right now, it's not, there's no tags, there's nothing like that
Yeah.
in it. I haven't been able to get access to be able to do that.
That's what I'm saying, maybe it's,
I understood,
Yeah.
believe me, I hear you.
Well, and that's a great point too, with SharePoint and with just a greater document management strategy within the town can now start to look at the age of information, like the age of documents that might be in there. To be able to tag a document for review after a year or potentially for deletion after 7 years or whatnot. So all of that capability will be in there. So while we're helping to implement the technology side of it, it's opening up opportunities for the town itself to revisit policies and procedures to best utilize this technology. And we're going to be here to help. Any other questions?
No
No?
other questions for me?
I knew bringing you down was a good idea.
You're going to make me blush, Nick.
You know, thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thank you.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yes, I knew that me trying to explain some of this stuff would have not been, helpful.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to open the regular meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the correspondence.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the voucher list for $1,757,755.10.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the budget transfers and to accept all such transfers as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the supervisor's report. I'm going to talk about the budget a little bit, because I am knee-deep in it with Ron. I have some, actually, first, I'd like to talk about, I used a lot of paper clips today, Eric, I was thinking of you. So I was looking at where we are right now in the year, and Ron also was able to provide me with August numbers and most of September. So the courts really aren't doing very well, but with the numbers he gave me for this portion of the month, we're definitely doing a little bit better. So we might, there's a good chance they're gonna come out of this little dark spot they're in by the end of the year. You know, just kind of hoping. The other one that really catches my attention is the mortgage tax. It's down considerably, and, you know, there's less mortgages, there's less house sales in town.
Does that get recognized on a monthly basis, or does
Yes.
that get distributed?
You know what, he mentioned something about half a year.
Yeah, so I think, so you could be trending negative and then a lump sum for 6 months comes in.
Yeah,
I don't disagree that home sales are down, I think that's a fact.
yeah,
But it may not be as bad because revenue's not coming in monthly,
yeah.
I think.
And rates
Yeah.
dropping, maybe there'll be a little bit of an increase.
He did mention something about the interest rate dropping, and it's gonna hurt us in other ways. So those were a few of the things. And there was one other big one that was very concerning. Oh, the employee benefits and all those items, they're all up. And, you know, it's just something we can't control.
When you say they're up, are they up for what?
They're up for a couple of reasons, and I think I might have known this, but I didn't understand it until today when I was talking with Ron. So somebody retires, we're paying their benefits. We hire someone to replace them, now we're paying more benefits.
Okay, yeah, we pay a portion of the retiree's benefits, smaller rate.
Yes.
But then we're still paying on top. But your comment about insurance, are you saying next year's gonna be higher? Or are you
Yeah.
just talking about this year?
I'll get to that in a
Okay,
second.
sorry.
But that's kind of why we are where we are this year. And I'm kind of dreading this, but next year it's going to be worse.
Okay.
Because of what's going on. So I just wanted to tap on what was going on with this year. So what Ron and I have been talking about, I'm not going to really give too many numbers, because I'm going to be giving you guys what we've come up with next week.
You're done with that part? It's not in the packet,
Yeah.
so if you could just make sure
Oh,
we
you
get
didn't have
that.
this? Okay, yeah, definitely. Oh, I thought that was in there. So, you guys are gonna have a fun week or two. The New York State retirement increase is gonna be 12% for next year. The insurance, the health insurance is gonna be 10% on top of all of this added portion. Now, we're looking at, some new hires. We've talked about the MS4 position. We would split that in between highway and Bruce, the MS4 administrator, because I don't think, not according to Mike Burdick, but I don't think a full-time MS4 person for highway is gonna be busy enough. And if he doesn't understand Bruce's end of it, it won't help us. He'll just basically be cleaning drains, and we need mapping, we need updates, we need a computer end of it, basically, So that's one of the big items on the list. The other big item is the assistant building inspector. I don't want to get into the weeds on the building department, but I've been basically looking at permit numbers, and these guys are behind. They're behind with expired permits and open permits. And I know that you guys have tried, before I got here, to get them a little help inside. So I really think if we fill that position and we are able to basically catch up with all of those items, that stale revenue will help us. So that's probably the bigger of the additions. And, we talked last week with Mike about deputy highway superintendent. We could deal with that later. We don't need to deal with that now, I don't think. It's not that risky of a thing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The insurance and retirement, that is state mandated, right? That's somebody in Albany said the town has to contribute more.
Yep.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's Patterson, but someone locally is actually gonna start making their employees pay more. So, that's another, hopefully we don't have to go down that road. I mean, I don't know if we even have the power to do that. But that's another conversation. So, just totaling up those three positions, the retirement, insurance, Medicare, workers' comp, health insurance, on those three particular jobs is another substantial number. You'll be lucky enough to see it all next week. And we've actually estimated the electricity is gonna be 30,000 next year, 30,000 more. One good thing with that is if we get these solar panels on the garage is one of our higher end users for electricity. And they've calculated those panels to take care of the garage. The garage wouldn't basically be paying for power, it'd be from the panels. I think the panels have like a 12-year life cycle, so that could be a pretty good help. And really good news, today at the county, I couldn't make it, so I wasn't over there. They announced the sales tax share, the 1% of the 9%. And if I heard him correctly, he said 360,000, and that would be for capital improvements. So we might not need to budget so much for Mike in some respects, knowing we can use that to pave or what have you.
It's nice we're getting that, it should be more.
Yeah. I think
Put that on the record.
Carmel was 800, actually.
Well, this should have been the higher percentage we asked for, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
I don't want to get you guys jacked up, I thought. And so, one of the other things too with the highway garages, we got the grant for the generator. They were out last week. They put in the switch for the generator. And we were told the panels in the highway department need to be replaced. So we got a quote on that. Excuse me, Mike's gonna get a couple more quotes. It's not a huge number, but it's something I think we should address, because if one of them panels burns up, we're in trouble. So, and I believe they are 30 years old, Mike said. So, you know, we have challenges, there's no doubt about that.
Nick, you touched on the timeline. I think, what's the timeline of the budget? So when are we gonna see it? When is the official presentation to the town board? When is the edits due
I
back
give it
to
to,
you?
I
So-
give it to Kathy on Tuesday, and then from there,
We present it at the next meeting.
at the next meeting, yeah. But, which is kind of, the timing's stinky, because it's a week and a half before you guys get it, I guess, before it's presented.
Well, I don't know the legal side of it, but obviously,
Mhm.
I'll defer to Will, but I
Yeah.
would hope you would share it with us without making
Yeah,
us wait for a
yeah,
meeting,
yeah,
but.
You can call a special meeting to present the budget.
Okay.
That would be
I
great,
don't,
because
if you want to wait. till-
Yeah, I don't want to wait.
having another week and a half for us
Yeah.
to look at it would be very helpful.
You might yell at me less.
I don't know if that-
Doubtful.
I mean, and I could have looked it up, and I apologize, and Will, I know you helped me with the timeline last year, but what are all the dates, like?
Oh,
when-
off the top of my head,
Yeah, okay,
I
that's
don't want to
fair.
give you the wrong answer.
Okay,
But I know that next Tuesday I have to give it to Kathy.
okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, so that's what I've been doing the past week and a half. You know what, there's one other thing, actually, I'll bring that up for new business. Okay, so I'll move on. I'll set meeting dates and public hearings.
I'm sorry.
We could set up.
Should we just go ahead and set a special meeting?
Okay, yeah.
Second.
Was that the second?
The second is next Thursday,
Yeah, sure.
Next Thursday?
or we could do
When do you have to get to you?
Tuesday.
Why don't you just do it
We
on?
could do
2:30.
Tuesday.
Tuesday night?
Well, except that, is that the 30th?
That is the 30th.
Because there's a court that night.
Oh, at night, yeah.
Yeah.
Want to do it Wednesday night? It has to be a public meeting.
Wait, there's court Tuesday, Will? Or
Yes,
Thursday?
yes, it's the 30th, there is court, I know that for a fact.
What about, oh, okay. So we could do it the first or the second?
What if I could do it for Monday? Could we do it Monday night? Because it's only, you know, I'm leaving here at 5 o'clock at night, and then I'm gonna hand it to her in the morning.
Yeah, that
I
works
can
for
do
me.
Monday.
I could do Monday, can you?
I can do Monday, I just can't do Tuesday.
Monday at 7?
Sounds like a
That works for
plan.
me.
Monday.
This is to,
Just to
Present-
officially.
Present the
it
preliminary
can't be
budget.
shared with us unless it's
Monday
presented
the
as
20th.
board members?
What they were kind of saying.
Interesting. Because we could avoid a meeting if it could just be shared.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're gonna walk in, Kathy's gonna hand us a 2-inch stick of paper, I'm gonna email Ron and say, send it to me in Excel, and then we're gonna go home.
That's the way it has to be done.
Only 3 of us need to show up.
Right, yeah, that's fair too.
Okay.
Okay.
Because, yeah, you know I'll get it in Excel.
What?
It's gonna
Make
go
it
back,
5:05.
so,
After work? That's fine.
It works
with
for me.
me.
Do you
Yeah,
want
it's
to
fine
make
with
it
me.
5?
Okay,
Yeah.
so Monday at 5:05.
Yeah, man, you guys don't even have to come, we'll just.
And we
email
put
to
it,
you.
we put it on the.
Is that okay, Will?
website?
I have some questions.
I'm good at 5, if the 3 of us
Yeah,
are good.
yeah.
Okay.
Special meeting, limited agenda.
Excellent, thank you, good catch. Okay, so I'll move to set meeting dates and public hearings. All meetings will be held at 1360 Route 22, Brewster, New York, at 7 PM unless otherwise noted. Thursday, October 9th, 2025, Thursday, October 23rd, 2025.
And
Oh, yes, why don't we do September
29.
29th at 5:05
Yeah.
PM, 2025.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
that was a vote.
Yes. Okay, we have a few resolutions, not too many. Excuse me. Okay, our first resolution is to adopt the local law number 6 of 2025 regulating solar energy systems. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Southeast hereby adopts local law number 6 of 2025 pursuant to the municipal home rule law to amend chapter 138 zoning of the town code, enacting new provisions of the zoning code to regulate the use and development of residential and commercial solar energy systems, providing definition of different types of solar energy installations, providing prohibitions against the use of certain types of solar energy installations, establishing locations for as-of-right installations and where such installations may be located within a conditional use permit, amending the title of Chapter 138, Article 7 to read Energy Systems, and adding new provisions to the Section 138-35 pertaining to solar energy systems and establishing the general requirements for the location, use, and employment of solar energy systems in the town. And be it therefore further resolved that the town clerk be and hereby is authorized and directed, to enter said local law in the minutes of this meeting and in the code book of the town of Southeast, and give due notice of the adoption of said local law by filing such with the Secretary of State of New York within the time required. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next resolution is to authorize the lease signing for Durkin. Durkin lease? Yeah. Okay. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby authorizes and approves the lease dated September 26, 2025 between Raymond and Andrew Durkin as landlord and the town of Southeast as tenant, covering the use and occupancy of a portion of the premises known generally as Markel Park for a period of years commencing on September 1st, 2025. The lease, and be it further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to execute the lease on behalf of the town of Southeast. And be it further resolved that all actions taken in advance of the adoption of this resolution with respect to the use and the occupancy of the portion of Markel Park located on Durkin property up to the culminating in the execution of the lease are hereby ratified and confirmed, non pro tunc. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next resolution is the lease with the Village of Brewster. So now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes and approves the lease dated September 26, 2025 between the Village of Brewster as landlord and the town of Southeast as tenant, covering the use and occupancy of a portion of the premises known generally as Markel Park with a period of years commencing on October 15, 2023, the lease, and be it further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to execute the lease on behalf of the town of Southeast. And be it further resolved that all the actions taken in advance of the adoption of this resolution with respect to the use and occupancy of Markel Park up to the culminating in the execution of the lease are hereby ratified and confirmed, non pro tunc. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our last resolution is a request to compel county to install no parking signage along portions of North Brewster Road, a county highway. Now therefore be it resolved, the town of Southeast The Southeast Town Board hereby requests that the Putnam County Traffic Safety Board requests that, if necessary, the Putnam County Legislature adopt a local law prohibiting parking, standing, or stopping on the shoulder of North Brewster Road from the intersection of Tulip Drive to the intersection of New York State Route 312, and direct the Putnam County Department of Highways and Facilities to erect traffic control devices prohibiting parking, standing, or stopping in accordance with a manual of uniform traffic control devices as required. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to transmit a copy of this resolution to the Putnam County Traffic Safety Board forthwith. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking of my next move. Okay, so we can actually go into new business, and I actually want to start that, if you guys don't mind. So I believe you're all aware that the village has hired a new inspector. The old inspector, yeah. So the new inspector has come to me, this is actually the second time he's come to me. Our municity, the system that they're using, I don't even know what the name of it is, but he says it's completely outdated. It's a nightmare to figure anything out. So they're asking us if we can help them by letting them have I guess, a license for municity?
Yep.
So you,
So, yeah, so we had talked about this a long time ago, and there's a guy, Dan Foster, we
Yeah.
can have a call with. I believe we can give them a login that is limited to the parcels that are identified in the village, which I'd like to do.
yeah, 'cause
Um,
it'd help.
Yeah.
The only thing though, from what I understand, is someone's gotta put all that information in the M6.
The historical,
I don't know, I think they're parcels, like. is
they're all
that-
in there, because
They are.
yeah, so
Okay.
all of Southeast is in there. We just don't have records, you know, we probably have records for some things that we may be involved in, like 67 Main Street may have
Yes,
some.
okay.
But their records wouldn't be in there, and, you know, I think we'd happily give them access if
Yeah.
we could. I think, one, we should limit it to the parcels in the village, and two, we should just ask the other employees, because I think you could have read access, write access, and, you know, if we give them, you know, a certain access, does that create any risk for what we're doing? Right?
You
Like if-
mean the other employees?
yeah, so say somebody from the village and you know, mistakenly delete something, well, that's a big issue. If one of our employees does it, we'll deal
Yeah.
with that. But we'd want to make sure that we have controls.
Oh, I see what you're saying,
Um,
yeah.
So I would certainly be open to it if we can just research the best way to do it.
Okay, and I would assume that Dan can help me with that, to
Yeah.
understand what to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to limit access to southeast parcels, you know, for them.
Well, yeah.
Well, they would limit it, yeah, so they would get just the village.
Just the village,
Yeah.
yeah, be in the system,
But
but
like
not
Lori-
not be able to.
Lori uses it to store media for village properties from
Yeah.
assessment
Gotcha,
purposes.
That's
Yes.
right,
So we need everything.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
want to limit them.
Yeah, and, you know, I don't think it would be necessary to charge them for it, we pay for it, but if they want a tablet,
Yeah.
right, to be out in the
Yeah,
field and
yeah.
stuff like that, you know, I think that should be
Yeah.
on them.
If fees come up, for sure.
And if there's a big implementation, like, and moving historical documents,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
they
should
would
be
have to
on
pay
them.
for it, yeah, with no doubt. I even told them that in the conversation. I said, you know, if you gotta pay for something, you guys are probably gonna have to take care of that. Yeah. okay.
And
This is for code enforcement or their building department?
It's basically for everything, their building department, for the code enforcement, because that's kind of been the issue, why the new person is there.
Okay.
Uh,
And they're
there's not a
prepared
lot
for
of
this to be their go-forward solution?
It's what I think they're thinking, yes.
Yeah, so any training, implementation, equipment on them.
So if we go ahead and do this, we could basically write up a contract for them.
Do an
Yeah.
intermunicipal agreement.
Yeah, okay.
And while I don't have any intentions of switching, if you remember, there was a push for us to change software. So the village has to realize that they have to do whatever we do.
Right.
So
At that point.
if we do change,
Yep.
you know, so.
Yeah, that makes
We're not
sense.
changing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Until I lose
I know
an
that, I know that's
election
my
or
stance as
Go off
well,
into the
but
sunset.
they should just be
There he
aware,
goes.
aware of the risk.
Okay, yeah, okay, good, all right, thank you.
Don't tell me this, they'll raise the price.
Yeah, exactly, you're not allowed to leave. Okay, that's it for me on new business.
So for the next steps on that, I don't think Jackie's ever met Dan, and I think
Okay.
Dan wanted to meet Jackie.
Okay, yep.
There's some things that we authorized funding for that were improvements. So, oh, that brings up a good point. Anyway, there's some things that we could do that we've really set money aside for. So we'll set up a meeting with Jackie, Dan, and you, and he's offered to come down again the last time I spoke with him.
Should we
Oh,
bring
yeah.
Kathy, because she's.
Yeah. Absolutely. An issue we may have is they have a different code than we do. Yeah, so that may be a problem, but something we could work through.
Okay. Anyone else have new business?
No, sir.
Did you want to bring up the meeting from yesterday? Not that anybody watches this, but.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday, more new business. Yesterday, I joined Eric over at the Traffic Safety Board meeting, and I'm a little lost, honestly. I don't know if they're gonna do another traffic study.
Yeah, I'll
We,
get,
we talked about Route 121 and Route 6. Pete Hartman and Matt Slater wrote a letter, but Eric's been working on it too, obviously,
Yep.
probably for years, to try to get a light out there. So maybe with these guys' help, it might help more. So at the traffic study meeting yesterday, there was someone from the DOT, and basically, Eric, the information he has was from 2022 and for that traffic study. So we're trying to get him to do another one. And I think she might have realized it.
yeah, so just in case anyone that lives over there watches this, which they won't, the last meeting we went to, they said, we have a traffic study from 2024, and we just replied to you, we're not doing one for 3 years. And we had a lot of back and forth on when that traffic study took place. And the gentleman there said, here's the number, FOIL it yourself, which I did. That traffic study was done in 2022. Brought that up in the meeting. She said, no, it was done in a more recent one. And I literally was like, here it is. And then she said, well, we have more recent traffic study. And it said, okay, where is it? Is that based on the project for 684? No clue about that project at all.
It's another division, basically,
Yeah.
she said.
Then she goes, what project? So then she goes, yeah, we'll do another traffic study. And we were like, can you put that in writing? And she's like, we'll email you. And
I didn't see.
Because things have changed since
No, she made
2022,
you-
so.
I gave
They
her,
took your email.
I haven't
So-
gotten an email.
Yes, so
Yeah.
we're waiting on them, and they
Yeah.
might not, you know,
And there's another meeting coming up, right?
public safety,
In-
public traffic, it's in November.
So, anyway, I did,
I can talk to Mike, find out who the woman was, talk to Dave Chalmers and track her down.
okay. The volumes from 2022 till, there's a website which I didn't realize has traffic study. They were 10% lower in 2022 because of COVID and, you know, whatever. And then I also found out they don't count any of the sweep turns. So if you're coming down 121 to go east, that doesn't count. And if you're on Route 6 going east, or you're on Route 6, you make a right onto 121, that one doesn't count. So the traffic study looks really low and it doesn't meet the
So
warrant.
it's only making that
Only
loop,
left.
the left.
It's just anyone who comes down to make the left.
Right.
Well, left out of Route
Yeah.
6, left out of
Left,
121,
yeah,
both
left
spots.
off
So-
of 121, left off.
So
of
the
6.
traffic on 121 is like 6,000 cars daily, and the traffic study shows like 1,300.
Wow.
They just vanished before the intersection.
Yeah, yeah. And the lady, I couldn't really understand the lady, but
She was tough to understand, yeah.
it was frustrating meeting, let's say that.
But when you said, oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the fact that they didn't know about the bridge.
Yeah.
You had said 6% more, the volume went up 6%,
Yeah,
but now I understand why it doesn't seem like much, because they're not counting those sweeps,
right.
which,
But the overall volume went up 6%, and that's, I think, really, well, two things. One, they did their traffic study in the end of December. So a lot of people don't work from November till December. I don't work that hard during that time period, right? So there was traffic study done in June, more recently on that road, and it was 10% higher. And, 2 years later, COVID, and in the summer, the traffic's really worse. People take the school, but not for that intersection. But also the 684 project, that's gonna be the detour, because they're closing the ramp from 84 to 684. And that's like
That's major.
major, and she didn't
Major.
even know about it.
originally though, they had told us in this room, they were gonna leave a lane open.
Oh, maybe they are.
I don't know how they're gonna do that, because if the bridge is already suspect, now they're working on it, and then they got a lane of traffic, that doesn't seem very safe to me.
Yeah, that's gonna be a disaster, and I understand that they have a temporary traffic mitigation plan, which is what I foiled, but they didn't give it to me, and they redacted a bunch of stuff, which makes no sense to me. But more or less, I think what their plan is to put up like temporary traffic lights there.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to find out, because, what's the cost of that? If a traffic light costs
Can't we just keep 'em?
350,000, how, is it gonna cost $100,000 to set that up and have generators running and monitoring them and everything else? I don't know.
And now I have a question about DOT. Isn't it the law now that the light has to be an arm, right? We had talked about that. So the lights at Home Depot, didn't they just replace those?
Yeah.
They're on wires. So like,
Are they?
yeah,
They did just replace them.
yeah, they put them
But-
further back so you can see
Yeah,
them.
they have like 2 rows.
Yeah, and they're on wires. I'm looking, I'm like,
So maybe
huh.
it's only a brand new,
Yeah, maybe they
Maybe
just
from the
shifted the
ground up.
original ones? Is it possible they shifted the original ones? I
The
don't
wires, I
remember.
think they had them both up at the same time, and then they took the old ones down.
I'm thinking that might be how they got around it. They were existing and just moved them.
Anyway, DOT is
Yeah, piece of work.
a big monster. Okay, does anyone else have new music, new business?
Putting out an album next week.
I don't.
Okay, all right, so I'll open it up to the public. If anyone has any comments, they could come on up and talk to us.
Come on, Elena, you have to have something to say.
She would have came up already. New music, that is a classic.
Hey, Scott.
Evening, Scott Seaman, Town of Southeast. Just some quick updates from the school. It is official, homecoming, and the bonfire is on the 10th.
It is on.
So I'm sure the school is going to be reaching out, hopefully, to invite everybody to attend.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Because Michelle sent an email to Mike Levine and myself asking for, did the state put more?
I believe this
mandates?
is a new state thing,
Yeah, okay.
because we just had a number of state inspections.
Okay.
So maybe somebody opened their mouth and said the wrong thing to the wrong person.
For-
That's usually the way
For
these
the
things tend to
bonfire. They
happen.
need another
Oh,
form
yeah.
of okay from us.
I'll send it, okay,
Yeah.
Oh, great.
for my personal.
We'll be declined tomorrow. I'd like to announce the cancellation of the whole fire.
All fun and games.
A bonfire for you.
Right, so that is the 10th. The cafetorium is well into construction. We're hoping to have it sealed before winter so we can do interior work, and the work has begun on the field house. That should all be well underway, hopefully, before the winter, so we can get most of that done. There's be serious interaction on the lower part of the parking lots. As they do more work, they're gonna be taking away more sections down there and keeping a bus emergency lane down there. So parking is gonna get to be tight again, just to warn people in advance.
Super tight right now. I was
Right,
there barely, like, there's no room to turn around.
right. That's because they have that little piece there.
How long are those restrictions in place for that lot?
Well, that will happen more because once they bring in equipment to do the more foundation work, I'd assume, I don't know definitively, but there'll be even more left down there that'll be gone. And I know there's other temporary lots that like students that aren't allowed to park, and I'm assuming they're gonna alter some of these, but there's also might affect some of the parking that's available now, so that.
Yeah, there's very
these thing-
little
Right,
available
and
right
I
now.
know some students were on a wait list, and then they got on it. I would think that if this changes, there might be some interactions, but please don't quote me on that. I don't want little, students that are upset outside my house.
No, I'm less concerned about the students, because I know they always make
Yeah.
accommodations elsewhere, but more concerned about the events and things like that.
Right,
and the-
and
It seemed like a little bit of a zoo
it's
today.
definitely a zoo, and buses are not allowed down there,
Okay.
as it is.
There was
But
one
every
down
now and
there.
then, another district comes in to participate, and they're just used to going down there and parking.
Yeah.
So out of habit, they go down there, and now they're stuck there.
Yeah,
Or
there
they,
was one
or they
there
park it
today.
there, and that lane's only for in and out, but that was designed knowing people would sort of break the rules.
Yeah.
But it's gonna get tighter. But, and I'm assuming there's gonna be much more enforcement on the out-of-area buses coming down there, because that is really what the problem is.
Will the restrictions be there throughout that construction, or just until the?
I don't
You don't
really
know?
know. I would assume definitively through the construction, but,
Yeah. I was just a little concerned with the backing up, that somebody was gonna get hurt. It was just very tight with
Oh,
no
it-
turnaround
I mean, it was
spot.
tight in a perfect world
Yeah.
down there.
Yes,
if any-
it was.
Right, so you
Now
take
there's
away a
no
lane
through
and throw a
turn.
bus down there and a construction site.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a mess, but, and we just ask everybody for their patience and hopefully put up more signage or something of that type. I know that these things that are coming. And to piggyback off some of the items that were said today on like the retirement stuff, now we have the teacher retirement system and employee retirement system, and every year we get adjustments from the New York State Pension Fund, and they can vary. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 8, sometimes they lower it, sometimes they raise it. And I know the school does keep reserves specifically for these type of items. I don't know if towns are allowed to have these type of reserves, but just a suggestion that if there is a possibility, and you're gonna be expecting these large increases between pension and retirement, if the town has access to either setting up a reserve or reserve funds, that might be something to look into. But that, like I said, I don't know if the major difference between education law and town law, but that's what we have set up already,
Maybe you could ask Ron about that.
just for planning purposes. On the off chance that people are around this weekend, I know Senator Harkin's name has come up a number of times. He's having a coffee klatch down at the Brewster Library this weekend, so if people were to have suggestions or wanted to make items, that might be a nice walk in the village, get a cup of coffee, come see your senator. I'm planning to be down there and taking some items from the education perspective down to him. He has always been a supporter of education, but we have some items we would like to bring up to him down there. And then on the side issue, I was gonna make a note of his help on the 121 issue, but there's nobody more vested in improvements to that than the school. Our buses go through there, our children go through there, and sometimes they can't, and they definitely can't come down it. And I hate to say these things, but it's only a matter of time till something does happen. So
Mary
anything that
Schmidt.
we can do to support, on your plans, while I can't speak definitively to the district, I'm sure I can bring your information to them, and I would hope they'd be more than willing to offer writing, papers, data, whatever is necessary to really explain to the state. I know it's a tight economic world, but this is a very important area that needs to be fixed.
Surprisingly, there's no accidents there.
Right.
Like I looked through it, there's like in the last 10 years, there's 12 accidents.
Do they count accidents on the sweep?
Probably not.
Yeah, so,
Probably not, yeah, you're right.
On a side issue, I was up in Patterson last night, and they've been trying for a while to get an audit done of Comcast to make sure they're getting their proper franchise fee. And the problem is most of these companies want to charge. They found a company that's willing to take it on for free up front, getting a piece of any found money. So that's what their concept they just came up with, that if this company is able to find out that they're being shorted franchise fee, the finding company would get a portion of it. So I don't know if that's something you might be interested in, but if so, speak to Supervisor Williams or somebody up there, just
Did they
another
mention, like,
source.
is there something
Yeah,
driving
Do
that
they think they're getting,
ripped off? Or?
They said somebody's approached them in the past. I can't tell if that was from a sales perspective or somebody that had information, but they had a feeling that they were being undervalued, but I have a feeling they're just looking, another source of revenue.
yeah.
Okay.
And as always, thank you for your work, and we appreciate it. If there's
Likewise.
anything we can do, please let us know.
Can I ask you a personal question? I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Just leave my wife out of this, please.
Do you have a cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, because all I have is your 279 number. I wanted to send you pictures the other
Oh, it's
day.
my house.
Yeah.
I'll forward it to you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks. Okay, does anyone else like to come up? Yeah, no, it's okay, yeah, we just want to be sure. Are there any comments from the board members?
No, 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 I'm good.
All right, so if we could please stand for a moment of silence for John. And remember, it's John Dunford. Thank you, everyone. With that, I'll make a motion to close the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.